The world is an endless, wind-scoured plain, and it is empty. 20,000 years ago, in the vast, cold heart of the American continent, the sky is everything. For this small band of Paleo-Indian hunters, it is a canvas of immense promise and crushing disappointment. They are ghosts in a landscape of grass and sky, following the great herds of Pleistocene megafauna that are the lifeblood of this new world. Their entire existence is a rhythm of movement and stillness, of patient tracking and explosive violence. The rhythm is broken. The wind carries the scent of dust and failure. The hunt was perfect. The stalk was a masterpiece of silent, coordinated movement, a dozen hunters becoming one with the contours of the land. The target was a herd of long-legged camelids, Hemiauchenia, creatures of impossible speed and nervous energy. The hunter's plan was sound, a classic pincer movement designed to channel the fleeing animals past a hidden line of spear throwers. The community moved as one, their shared mind focused on a single purpose. Mate, this is the pinnacle of their survival skills, a complex social predation that has allowed them to thrive in the shadow of giants like the mammoth and the mastodon. But the camelids do not run like mammoths. As the trap was sprung, the herd did not stampede in a straight, predictable line. They exploded. They scattered in a dozen directions at once. Their movements are chaotic. Liquid dance of jinks and swerves. The spears flew, launched from atlatls with incredible force and accuracy. They were perfect, straight-line projectiles of death, and they flew through empty air. The hunters watched, their breath held in their chests. As their weapons strike the dirt, useless, the herd vanishes over a low rise, their panicked calls fading on the wind. The hunters are left standing in a sudden, profound silence, their hands empty, their stomachs aching with a hunger that is now sharper than before. This is the brutal reality of their lives. A failed hunt is not just a disappointment, it is a catastrophic loss of energy. The calories burned in the long stalk and the explosive chase have been wasted for nothing. They return to their temporary camp as the sun sets, each step heavy with the weight of their failure. The children and elders who wait by the small, smoky fire see the answer in their empty hands and lowered heads. No words are needed. The primal fear is not of a sudden, violent death, but of this, a slow, grinding starvation in a land of plenty, a death by 1,000 failed hunts. A young hunter, his heart still pounding with the frustration of a near miss, sits apart from the others. He holds his spear, a beautiful and lethal to love Clovis point flint. He stares at it, replaying the moment of failure in his mind. The spear flew true. The problem was not the weapon. The problem was the straight line. Frustration is a tool. In the cold, hungry days that follow, the young hunter, one day, becomes obsessed. He withdraws from the small comforts of the clan, his mind a grinding stone, constantly replaying the image of the scattering camelids. He understands the flaw is not in the hunter or the spear, but in the physics of the hunt itself. A spear is a dot of force. The camelids are a liquid, flowing around the point of impact. This abstract, analytical thought is a flicker of the dawning of a new kind of intelligence, a step beyond simple delusion into the realm of theoretical problem-solving, a crucial step in the journey of early humans. The spark comes not from a grand vision, but from a moment of petty rage. While trekking alone, flightless terror bird, a fast but less agile prey, he gets close, only to have it bolt at the last second. In a fit of pure, unthinking anger, he rips a tuft, trading vine from the ground and hurls it at the fleeing creature. The vine, a clumsy, weightless projectile, tumbles through the air and falls short. But in that moment, he sees it. He sees how the long, flexible tendrils spread in the air, how they catch the wind, how they land not as a point, but as a net. He sees how one of the bird's legs momentarily catches in the tangle, causing it to stumble, to break its perfect, piston-like stride for a single, vital instant. The bird recovers and is gone, but 1K does not see the escape. He sees the stumble. That is the entire world. This is his foresight. He sees a new kind of weapon, one that does not pierce, but entangles. A weapon that attacks not the body, but the legs, the very source of the prey's advantage. The vine itself is useless as a projectile. It has no weight, no momentum. It needs an anchor. It needs a stone. This is the birth of an idea that will revolutionize their projectile technology. He will not throw a stick. He will throw a net of flying stones. His work is a quiet obsession, performed in the hours when others rest. His actions are an act of faith, an altruism that his clan, mired in the immediate reality of hunger, does not understand. They watch with skepticism as he ignores the hunt to search the riverbed, not for sharp-edged flint, but for smooth, dense, palm-sized stones. He applies his familiar lithic skills to a new purpose, chipping and grinding not a cutting edge, but a shallow groove around the circumference of each stone. Then, he gathers the toughest materials the land offers, strips of sinew from old kills, the inner bark of the willow, the long, fibrous leaves of the yucca. He braids them, his fingers strong and nimble, into cords of incredible strength. He ties a grooved stone to the end of each of 3 cords, then knots the cords together. The first bolas is born. It is an ugly, awkward thing, a lopsided knot of stone and fiber. It looks less like a weapon and more like a child's forgotten toy. The other hunters watch him. Their faces a mixture of pity and contempt. He is the fool who is trying to kill the wind with rocks tied to a string. Mastery is a long road paved with failure. 1K's first attempts to throw the bolas are a disaster. He whirls the weighted cords over his head. The stones are humming, blurry circle. But when he releases them, they fly off in a wild, unpredictable tangle, landing uselessly a few feet away. Sometimes they wrap around his own arm. A painful, self-inflicted lesson in the complex physics of kinetic energy. The other hunters, their bellies tight with hunger, laugh. Their mockery is a sharp, bitter wind. But 1K is not just a hunter, he is an inventor. And invention requires a stubborn refusal to be embarrassed. This is a critical moment in hominid history, the transition from using found tools to engineering conceptual ones. He does not give up. He practices. He spends every hour of daylight in a secluded gully. He targets a line of sun-bleached animal skulls set on posts. He learns the subtle art of the release, the precise moment when the spinning weights must be let go to fly true. He discovers that a longer cord offers more range but less accuracy. He learns that the weights must be perfectly balanced. He braids new cords, grinds new stones, adjusting and refining his creation through a relentless process of trial and error. Slowly, painfully, he begins to understand its language. The bolas is not a weapon of brute force, but of timing and rhythm. He is no longer just throwing stones. He is launching a spinning, 3-fingered hand that can reach out and snatch the legs from a running animal. The clan is on the brink of starvation when 1K finally steps forward. He holds his creation, no longer an awkward knot but a sleek, balanced instrument of the hunt. He does not speak. He simply meets the eye of the lead hunter and nods towards the plains where the camelids graze. The hard choice is a desperate one for the lead hunter. Trust the fool and his toy on a hunt they cannot afford to fail, or stick to the proven methods that have already led to nothing. He looks at the gaunt faces of his people, then at the quiet, unshakable confidence in 1K's eyes. He nods. This is the ultimate expression of community, the willingness to stake survival on the strange vision of a single member. The hunt is a mirror of the one that failed, but with a single, revolutionary change. As the herd explodes and scatters, 1K does not aim for the body of a single animal. He waits. He watches the chaos, his eyes calm, his body a coiled spring of potential energy. He sees a gap, a moment when 2 camelids are running stride for stride. This is his emotional turning point. He whirls the bolas, a flat, humming blur over his head, and releases it. It flies not as a stone, but as a net of kinetic force. It scores in a perfect, low arc and intersects with the legs of the lead animal. The cords snap tight, the stones cinching the knot. The camelid's legs are instantly bound. Its forward momentum becomes its doom. He pitches forward in a spectacular, tumbling crash, bringing down the animal next to it in a tangle of limbs, before the rest of the herd has vanished over the horizon. Two of their number lie kicking and helpless on the plain. The silence that follows is not one of failure, but of stunned, breathless awe. 1K. The foe has not just killed, he has changed the very nature of the hunt. This was more than a successful hunt. It was a victory for lateral thinking. The invention of the bolas represents a profound cognitive shift. A moment when our ancestors stopped thinking only about piercing and started thinking about entanglement. It is a weapon born not from the desire for a sharper point, but from a deeper, more abstract understanding of physics, of momentum, of centrifugal force, of the beautiful, lethal geometry of a spinning object. This single invention, perfected in a lonely gully through frustrating trial and error, demonstrates a mind that can see a problem from a completely new axis. It is the same kind of thinking that would eventually lead to the lever, the wheel, and the circuit board. The bolas is a testament to the power of a stubborn, imaginative individual to change the destiny of their community, a perfect example of how one mind can provide a tool that amplifies the strength of all. We are the heirs to that legacy of invention, facing our own seemingly impossible challenges. Do we still have the patience for the lonely work of the inventor? The courage to trust in a strange new idea when proven methods fail? The wisdom to see a solution not in a straight line, but in a spinning, elegant knot? The sharpest weapons are not forged in fire, but in the quiet crucible of a frustrated mind. But what happens when the greatest invention is not a tool, but a lie?